Hello, we're gonna make a Greek yogurt bowl, blueberry this time. So we're gonna start off with some Greek yogurt. We're gonna add some of these sugar-free Torani syrups, some blueberries, some Catalina Crunch, and I'll put the recipe down there for you guys. But let's get started. We'll also have a little bit of white chocolate cookies or white chocolate chips that are sugar-free, and some of those Quest cookies that are birthday cake flavored. They taste like white chocolate and me. But anyways, I'm gonna get started with half a cup of fat-free Greek yogurt and 1 tablespoon. All right, so we've got that Greek yogurt in there. That can be put away. And we're gonna flavor it. Usually I thin this out with a little bit of water and then add the flavors. This time my calories allow for some milk. So we're gonna add a little bit of milk. So it'll be kind of like cereal-ish, kind of. So we're gonna add 20, let me make sure. Nope, just 10. So 10 calories of milk. So that would be 2 tablespoons. And this is the fat-free milk from Fairlife. Just to thin out our yogurt a little. And we're gonna add some French vanilla, because it's basically gonna be like a white chocolate blueberry. And some blueberry, a little on the blueberry, not too much, because we're going to add more blueberry flavor here in just a second. And just a little bit of the white chocolate. Ooh, that white chocolate smells so creamy. Speaking of creamy, we are going to add some Bavarian cream. These Lorraine flavors are awesome. They are extremely flavorful. They're made for like baked goods and stuff. So literally like 1 to 2 drops flavors it pretty decently. We have the blueberry flavor. That one I'm going to use a little bit more of because I really like it blueberry. I want that like almost artificial blueberry like the kids have in candy. That's the kind of blueberry I'm going for. But when you use those Lorraine flavors, you got to definitely sweeten it up with a little bit of stevia. The Toranis are fine on their own, but those extracts need a little partner. So just 2 drops of this stevia. Whoa! Where are you going there, spoon? My Greek yogurt tried to get away from me. Oh, hell no, I'm gonna eat you. So anyways, this is the better stevia. And some of these products you can find down there on the description. They're just things that I have found over the years that I just put together for you that are good swaps and aids for helping with the calories and all that. And if you buy them through my links, I get a commission with no extra cost to you, and it just helps out so that I can do all these free desserts, recipes, information, things like that. And you get to not even have to search for it. You just go and grab it. So we've got those flavors. And the last thing I'm going to add is a little bit of cake batter extract. Once I discovered extracts and things like that, life got a lot easier, especially knowing how to flavor things. So if you ever go overboard, I think I've mentioned this before, on an extract and you have that alcohol flavor or taste or whatever it is, you can add a little bit of baking soda and it neutralizes the pH and balances it back out where you don't taste that. Very good. Nice and blueberry. And it has that creaminess that I'm looking for because I want it to be creamy and blueberry. We're going to add just the tiniest bit of salt because it just enhances things. And some of my Mediterranean salt. You'd be surprised how different salts taste. I didn't think so, but I started tasting things individually because you're also going to learn about a little bit of cooking from experience here as well. See, it immediately made it like sweeter. I'm gonna add a little bit of cinnamon. Cinnamon I do like quite a bit. Cinnamon, just a little bit of nutmeg, because if you want to go a lot with the nutmeg, then it's gonna be more like a blueberry pie kind of thing. But I'm not going for that. I'm going for creamy blueberry. Anise. Anise makes everything kind of sweet and I would say kind of creamy as well. And I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla extract. The vanilla extract is a little different than like adding the vanilla Torani because it's just a little deeper, I guess, because it doesn't have the sweetness to it already. And we've already sweetened it enough where we just want a little depth. We're going to add just a little bit of cardamom. Cardamom is really good with anything that's citrus. I know we don't have citrus here, but it still brings it out a little. And then I have this special cinnamon. This one's really so sweet and so nice. Even though it's like sweet, it's deep. But I don't know. You guys gotta try this cinnamon. It's freaking awesome. It's the one that I use when I try to make anything taste like those Cinnabons. Or like when you walk by those Cinnabons. Did you know they spray that smell out for you? Everybody tries to get into your noodle. Be aware of what's trying to control you. Control yourself. All right, so we've got this. And it's tasting pretty good. And as an enhancer, we're gonna use clove, not as a flavor. So we're gonna use it just a little because, again, if you want it to taste like a blueberry crumble or like a pie, then use more. But if you want it to be more of the creamy, what we're doing here is we're just trying to bring out that blueberry. Okay, there we go. I might go back and add a little more blueberry extract, but I don't want to go crazy because I want it to still remain on its own flavor, not as an extract. A little bit of allspice. Whoops. Allspice is a little milder than cloves. Similar, but milder. Allspice really helps to bring out that like blueberry. All right, I'm gonna put some of these things away. I added just the teeniest bit of water to thin it out and to also kind of disperse the extracts and things that I've put in there. Sometimes they're soluble in things like that, or they're supposed to be soluble in fats or oils. So it makes them more like a flavor rather than like the extract. You know what I mean? Like it's the difference between having cinnamon on its own and cinnamon in a cake. It just kind of carries it for you. All right, I think I'm gonna add just a little more of the French vanilla stuff over here. So sometimes if you've over flavored something, just add a little water. That's pretty good. I'm gonna add, I think it's good. Again, I do want it to be very blueberry, so I'm gonna add just a little more of those Loran oils. So if you know anything about baking, which I'm not the greatest baker, I've gotten a lot better over the years, and for some reason I'm a better protein baker than a regular baker. But you'll know that certain things are carried by certain things, by like butter or water or milk or things like that. And then just a little bit of this stevia. Usually anytime I add a little bit of that Loran oil, it just needs like a friend. It just needs its stevia friend. All right. That's pretty good. And I think I'm gonna add just one more of that Bavarian cream again. Another flavor enhancer that we're gonna use is just lemon juice. Just the tiniest little bit, just to bring out the flavors, not to flavor stuff. Now, if you wanted to, you could definitely make it lemon blueberry and add a bunch of lemon and add the lemon zest, and then you got yourself some lemon stuff going on in there. That's delicious as well. But I don't want that. I want blueberry. Blueberry and cream. All right, so now that we've got our yogurt, we can start with the fun stuff, which is adding all of our toppings. Excuse me while I lick everything. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're gonna add 1/3 cup of blueberries. Try grabbing some of the older ones so I can get rid of those. Don't you hate when you order like fruits and they give you all the marred, decomposing ones? And especially now that it's hot, they're like, they deliver them and then it's in a hot car and then it's hot on top of hot on top of hot. What's up with that? The other day I put a cooler out there for the delivery person to put it in there and they didn't. It's like, oh my goodness. But at least we get it delivered to our house. That's quite a perk, right? Remember when we used to go grocery shopping? I never liked that. Never liked it. As soon as this was deliverable, I was like, heck to the yeah. I was using it when you were going to the store to pick it up. And now they just bring it right to your house. I wish they would just put it in my fridge. I wish there was like something where it was already like somehow they knew. I don't know how you would tell them like where you want things. And then they just put it there all nice and organized. That would be awesome. Okay, so we've got our 1/3 cup of blueberries that you can just mix in. Maybe even give a couple of crush. We get some of that nature's sweetness and flavor. And not all of them, because I do want them to pop in my mouth. Kind of like those boba drinks. Sometimes you gotta find things that you like and find the replacement in nature for it, like the boba drinks. You like the pop blueberries. Or like, you know those Oreo cookies that are dipped in chocolate? Terrible for you, right? However, find one of those minis, have a mini, a Hershey's Kiss, same thing. Same flavor, just not too much. So we've got our blueberries. Let me put these away because they need to be put away. All right, so we're gonna add 1/4 cup of our blueberry Catalina Crunch. And when you're making these yogurt bowls, be aware of the macros. You know, if something has a lot of fat in it already, you know, you gotta balance it out because, like, for instance, this does have fat in it already and carbs, so you don't want to add other stuff that has too much of that already. And chocolate chips, white chocolate chips, all that has that. So depending on your macros, just be aware of what you're doing. Don't just put things together, be aware. Okay, so we've got 1/4 cup of Catalina plus a tablespoon. And just try to balance it out as best you can. That way you're doing what you need to do. Okay, we got another tablespoon there. And we're going to add 1/2 a tablespoon of almond slices. So usually I always add like a full tablespoon of my nuts, but because I'm adding the chocolate chips and the other, I'm going to be adding some of the Quest protein little cookie things. It has fat in it, so I reduced my nuts so that I don't have an overflow of fat. So we've got my nuts, put my nuts on there, and we are going to add 1/2 a teaspoon of white chocolate chips plus a 1/4 teaspoon. Yeah. And with the white chocolate chips, I just kind of crumbled them up You could also melt them, but this is simple. Then we're gonna have half a cookie of these Quest cookies. And what I do with those cookies on the weekend is during the weekends I like to just munch. That's not what I do during the week, but during the weekend I munch on little things, especially like little protein things. And so I cut them into little triangles. I just cut them eight ways, and that way it could be just a little thing. Anyways, I have them here. You can also divide the calories based off of those 8, and you can just have like whatever you're gonna add onto your stuff, like as a topping, rather than doing the whole cookie. And that way you're avoiding all the excess of anything. Excess of anything gets stored. So excess of protein, excess of carbs, excess of fat. That's the easiest one to go excess on because it's the most calorie dense, the most, the thing that has it right away. So got this cookie going on here. And the reason for that is because your body processes each thing on its own. It works together with them, but it does process each thing. It will change and convert things, but not right away. It will, if it sees something in excess, the first thing it does is store it. So that's why we try to have a balanced meal every time so that our body is balanced. The guy that works on carbs, he's working on carbs. The guy that works on protein, he works on protein. The guy that works on fat, works on fat. If you have a ton of protein and they have to call the carb guy and the fat guy over, they're going to say, that's too much work. Store it in the back. We got carbs and fat to deal with. So they, nothing in excess, everything balanced, everything kosher and flowy and harmonious. Totally, dude. All right, so we've got our cookies in there. What else did I want to put in here? That's it. We're just going to add some whipped cream and some maple syrup and then just zhuzh it up to make it look pretty. And we can eat our blueberry bowl. So let me go get, I already got it. I got my whipped cream and I got my maple syrup. So half a teaspoon. Gonna get that ready. I'll just put that on my little cereal there, and I'll get my topping. Some of this skinny syrup stuff, and we'll get this 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can drizzle it. And we'll top it off with a little cinnamon. And just to make it pretty, I think I'm going to add a tiny bit of this blueberry stuff since it is blue, just to make it look a little blue. I don't know if that'll work, but we shall see. Got it a little blue. Maybe we'll kind of swirl it in there a little. All right. Ooh, yummy. Look at that. Of course, my husband turned my stuff off. I always turn things on. He goes around turning things off. What's wrong with him? All right. Look at that. Blueberry yogurt bowl. Very pretty. And we'll give it a try. See if everything melded right. With a little blueberry. And the cereal, if you let it sit in there a little bit, because it is blueberry flavored, will melt even more in there. Under 300 calories, delicious, nutrish. Check out the recipe. Check out whatever's down there. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to enjoy. Enjoy your day.